7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to the Marketing Essentials podcast. Our unique team helps small businesses grow by providing essential marketing expertise.
Hello and welcome to the Marketing Essentials podcast. My name is W.Parmentier of W.Parmentier Photography.
I'm Justin Kerr of Justin Kerr Design.
And I'm Alicia Piazza with Custom Marketing Solutions.
And together we make up
The Marketing Essentials team. All right, so we are here today with one of our returning guests, Nicole Eller. If you don't remember from our previous podcast, she is from Ginger Green Marketing. You can find them at gingergreenmarketing.com. Nicole is the founder of her company and social media strategist extraordinaire. And she has graduated from, Rhode Island College with honors and a degree in management. Nicole's on a mission to help other entrepreneurs and small business owners navigate the noisy and crowded social media landscape. Amen to that. It's pretty noisy out there.
Yeah. So the name, Ginger Green Marketing. So the origins of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, since you can't see me right now, hopefully there'll be like a picture somewhere.
But we're going to do a selfie.
You can manage that.
We're going to do a selfie. I am a ginger. So I am a redhead, for those of you that don't know what a ginger is. And the Ginger Green came across as a collaborated name with a fellow ginger. So ginger for redhead and green for money. I help you grow. I help you make money.
I like it. I really like the name. I think it's great.
I was a ginger at one point. Does that count for anything?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Go with that.
Yeah.
She's Ginger Green. You're Ginger Gone.
That is good.
Yeah. Very nice.
You're going to get me later. I
Yeah,
know.
of course.
I'm being nice because we're on the air.
I see. For some reason, your mic was off the whole time. I don't know
what
what happened.
happened, Justin. We'll just make up what you said.
Yeah.
No problem. Either that or make you sound like a chipmunk. It's fine either way.
Take control, Alicia.
All
luck.
right. So
Good luck.
So, like, the first thing off the bat, I'm like, yeah, you have social media fatigue. Like,
If
there's
you're
so
using
many
all of those,
options.
yeah.
So I guess one of the first things that we could kind of talk about is understanding what the best platform is for your business and not trying to do all of them at once, but sort of start slow. Identify what makes sense for your target market, who you want to work with, who are you trying to reach? Because obviously, if you're trying to reach demographics that are using things like Instagram or Pinterest, and they're not on Facebook anymore, and you are posting to your Facebook page, you're missing your market. That's
right.
It's a very silly thing to do. So what I always recommend is figuring out who it is that you want to talk to, what you need to say to them, and what is the best platform for that conversation. So if you work primarily in an image-based market, you're going to go to Instagram, you're going to go to Pinterest, Facebook. All of the platforms do really well with images, but what makes the most sense for what you do? Figuring that out is the first step, and the first pitfall is trying to be all things to all people.
I agree. Yeah, and I think that is almost like a fundamental of any marketing. If you don't narrow down and define, you're not going to connect.
No, you're going to miss the mark, and you're going to create a much longer buying process for your customers.
Okay. So, do you have any favorite social media channels?
Oh, favorites, gosh. I like all of them, but for the service-based industry that I tend to work with the most, those B2B and B2C, but they're selling some sort of service, is LinkedIn. Okay. It's the number one fastest growing for that market, for the B2B market. And I really enjoy, what they're doing and what they're trying to do to help people grow their referral networks and B2B customer journeys.
Okay. How about you guys? What's your favorite social media network?
Depends on the day you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, for growing business or just personal?
Just in general.
I think just personal use.
I use a lot of Facebook, Instagram.
Okay. All right.
Those are probably the two that I use the most.
I get sucked down the YouTube rabbit hole a lot.
YouTube.
Oh, I forgot about
Videos,
YouTube. Yeah, I'd have to add that in there too.
But I mean, for my business, LinkedIn is pretty much where I live.
Primary. Okay. I'm a Facebook fan, and then I also Instagram. For those of you who don't know, is co-owned by Facebook, so I tend to. Those are my top two, and then I love LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, my LinkedIn is it's so neglected.
Oh, I don't think I'm good at it, but I like to go on and look at what
I mean, I'll look at
people are
mine
doing.
occasionally, but I am horrible about keeping it updated.
I mean, if there's one that I'm using the most personally, it's probably Facebook followed by Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm more of a stories and a little bit. I don't want to say like a lurker on Instagram. I just don't post to my grid as often because it's a whole other experience. I love stories.
I'm still trying to figure out the whole story thing.
I love it. I love it so much.
And now you have Instagram TV. Not
Oh,
to
I-
confuse.
I
having-
tried it and got rid of it.
I haven't used it.
I put the app on my phone, tried it twice, and said the thing that I had a problem with is the whole landscape versus portrait. In Instagram TV, you can only film in portrait mode.
Well, don't they do that for Facebook Lives too? I think it's only in portrait mode.
I think they just changed it. It used to be you could do it in landscape and portrait mode, but I just don't like the constriction of having
Yeah.
the portrait mode. So, for me,
So maybe for the uninitiated, you talk a little bit about stories in regards to Instagram and maybe other social media platforms. Like, what is that?
Okay, so the stories on Instagram, I'll start with Instagram because it was Facebook/Instagram's answer to not being able to buy Snapchat. So when Snapchat was like, no, you can't have us,
we'll show you.
Zuckerberg was like, okay, well,
I have $1 billion
Yeah.
at least.
so I'm going to go, do this thing. And so that's what happened. And so Instagram stories is that little, area on the top of your phone. So if you're looking at your Instagram, if you're looking at your Instagram feed, it's everybody's stories are going to show up in that first little bar at the top, and then you're scrolling through.
Okay.
So you're always seeing those stories as soon as you log in. They're roughly 15 seconds of, material. Some people have been able to do longer, but I don't recommend it. Just let it move forward through those 15 seconds, even if you're doing a full minute of talking, because it helps break it up. And
and like Snapchat, it disappears in 24 hours.
it does, yes.
Okay.
So it's there, it's gone. And why are you looking at me?
Oh,
I just showed him the Instagram.
Well, no, because
Okay.
you said it's like Snapchat. Now, one of my daughters uses Snapchat, and she really likes it. I've never been able to get my head around the temporal nature of it. So it's there, and then it's gone. And it's almost like the app forces you to be obsessive about using it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And
that's
I've-
what they're all driving towards.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they want you on there 24/7.
And I think my personal theory behind why Snapchat and stories are so popular is because the younger generation, those kids out there,
Them young whippersnappers.
they just like to take a lot of selfies. And so it's like, after a while, like how many selfies can you have on your Instagram grid or your Facebook album or your Facebook feed? So it's like a way to have continuous like access, and they're also super connected.
Right.
So, and we're just a visual society with the iPhones having and Androids having such great cameras. And so I think like all those things kind of lend themselves to this quick, like instant material. Like I have a cousin who's in high school, but I don't think she really like does anything in high school because all I see is her Snapchat story all day.
Well, that was going to be my follow-up question is, if the millennials are where the economic value is going to be for marketers,
Right.
are they really using Snapchat?
They're not using Snapchat.
So it's the younger generation.
So Instagram's market is that millennial market. So
Okay.
it's your I think it's like your 25 to 40-year-old market.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening was those guys aren't on Snapchat. Maybe so I fall into that market, and I know Alicia, you do as well.
I'm an old millennial. It's like horrible sounding.
It's elder millennial.
You and I have
even worse.
aged out. Of
Did you
that.
notice that we just got out of the conversation altogether there?
Oh yeah.
Well, I do apologize,
still old guys.
but no ageism here. But
Well, the last
they're
time
not.
my daughter said, "Oh, only old people are on Facebook," she looked right at me.
So the idea that people aren't on Facebook, the younger generation is not on Facebook, is actually a bit of a misnomer. It is the most equally divided of the demographics. So you have every age group represented on Facebook. So generally speaking, it's it's kind of like you have your website, you have your, everything is indexed for Google, and then you have your Facebook page, because without it, you do miss a wide variety of the market. But, as to where to focus, Instagram and Instagram stories is targeting that 25 to 40-year-old. You're really looking at like the millennial generation. And so I think that's what's made stories so popular as we talk about millennials becoming that economic value center that you mentioned earlier. that is where they're hanging out. So that's where they're spending their time.
They like quick, like kind of like, I guess, nuggets of content.
Right.
And that's what the stories tend to lend themselves
Exactly,
to.
exactly. So, I said I'm a kind of a lurker on Instagram because your grid should be very curated. And it depends on what you're using Instagram for. I follow a lot of brands. I follow a lot of lifestyle marketers and lifestyle brands. So, and what that means is these people have these very curated Instagram feeds.
So, just for the uninitiated, what is an Instagram grid?
So the grid is when you're looking at someone's profile page, the picture, their actual pictures. So those posts that stay there and don't go away.
Gotcha.
So it's
Okay.
the opposite of their stories. And a lot of people will color code theirs, or they'll use a special filter just for that space. And then your stories are that behind the scenes aspect that people love about social media. So it's bringing people into what you're doing, what's going on behind the scenes. It's very real, very raw.
Timely, relevant stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then it's short term. So it's there and it's gone. So it gives that sense of urgency to following up and taking a look at, okay, well, this is my favorite, it's my favorite blog. I love this writer, and she's only going to be at this restaurant for 24 hours. I want to watch what she's doing. That sort of thing.
So like a good example of that is if you have an Instagram, I think for a business, if you have an Instagram feed and your grid is curated and branded to your style guides, maybe you're out and you take a picture at an event. It may not necessarily be within your company's brand and look, but the stories would work for that.
Exactly.
Or for restaurants, Instagram is phenomenal for restaurants because we all like to look at food. Hashtag food porn and hashtag get in my belly. Hashtag, no, just kidding.
Going crazy with the hashtags today.
Yeah. So with the story, restaurants can have, special tonight or introducing, for this weekend only. And it's kind of like that
Right.
timely stuff that can go
Absolutely.
and not sit in their feed. And then someone's like, oh, well, you said that this was the promo. Well, that was 3 weeks ago.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, no, it helps with that short term, the need to fill short term content. And you brought up a really good point, too, about Instagram. One of the other things that works really well there is that unlike Facebook, where a lot of it's kind of moved into a pay to play, and you can do that on Instagram. We know because that's the same platform for their ads. But the ability for brand awareness on Instagram is actually greater, especially from an organic perspective, because you can use those hashtags.
Yeah.
So you strategically use your hashtags. You self brand. You have hashtags that are going to raise your profile in the per the algorithm, so the algorithm will present you higher, and stories does play into those algorithms. So the more that you use stories, the more beneficial. So you have your permanent stuff, and you can keep going.
Now there must be some sort of saturation point for hashtags, because I've seen some Instagram feeds,
With
and it's
1,000?
just a long list of hashtags. It's
Hashtag
like, did we use
way
all the
over the
hashtags?
So you're maxed out at 30. And depending on how you do it, decides whether or not it makes sense to use all 30. Some people do a really great job of making sure that they kind of, the hashtags kind of get buried at the bottom of that caption. General convention has said, and by general convention, I mean like those programs like the Hootsuite and Buffer and Sprout Social who monitor hashtag usage. They say that 11 is optimal. The more followers you have, the less you need to use hashtags because your people are coming, and then new people will find you based on the fact that other people are liking and commenting on your stuff. However, if you're a brand new brand and you're trying to build something, I always go for the full 30. I do 5 to 7 that are used relevant to the brand. So they're on brand. They call them branded hashtags. But so that would be something like for me it would be hashtag Ginger Green Marketing, hashtag Nicole, hashtag what, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't actually do
Hashtag
it.
use my
that's a good
hands a lot.
Yeah. But
That's a good example, though. I get
yeah,
what you're
so and hashtag social media marketing, that kind of thing. So
Sure.
you call them branded, but really a lot of people are using them. But if somebody clicks on hashtag social media marketing and you have a big enough following, you're posting relevant content, maybe
You'll
you just
pop up.
posted, you're going to pop up. The algorithm is going to present you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the long and the short of brand awareness on Instagram. It's a great place to set that up.
Now, with hashtags, Twitter, definitely hashtag friendly.
Yes.
Instagram, definitely hashtag friendly.
Yes.
Facebook,
No.
not so much because of privacy settings.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
and also LinkedIn just seemed to. Where did that come from?
So it's been a thing for probably the last year, but they just started promoting it.
Okay.
So they're heavily promoting the use of hashtags on LinkedIn to get your content found. And what I noticed was LinkedIn, I think, has built more of a relationship with Twitter. So you've kind of got LinkedIn and Twitter over on one side, and you've got the Facebook and Instagram on the other. And it's kind of interesting how that's kind of happened.
Enemies.
Yes, that's a nemesis.
Yeah. No. Why did they align with Twitter?
I think that Twitter is generally accepted as it's a bite-sized, business-friendly platform. It's not my favorite, so I don't want to speak on it, too heavily. I have used it, for a variety of projects. It's a great place for really big brands. It's customer service oriented. I complained about something to Hootsuite and somebody emailed me like in 10 seconds. They slid into my DMs and they were like, send us an email. Like, we want to talk to you about this problem.
All right.
It's fast moving.
It is.
So for a small company to have somebody managing their Twitter day in, day out, it's not exactly feasible.
No, not really. You basically, to get the real benefit from Twitter, you should be posting anywhere from, depending on your content, 3 to 10 times a day. And the life of a tweet is only about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the fast
3 to
moving.
10 times a day. Wow.
Yeah. And
it's like conversations. That's why like the celebrities always have like the Twitter wars or whatever.
Right, exactly. Oh gosh, the number of
drama.
Oh yes, so much. And it is a good place to reach your state and local government. So that's another big part of it. Is it's good outreach for that, and it is a place where you're going to find some really quick moving conversations that but that's both a benefit and a curse because things can get blown out of proportion very wildly, very fast on Twitter. Which is why, again, it becomes kind of its own beast because the monitoring of Twitter is really important. You have to have the notification, especially if you're monitoring a brand. You have to have the notification set up to go straight to you as soon as something happens. And as soon as you hear, a complaint or something like Hootsuite did, you have to jump on it. And I gave them the benefit of tagging them.
Any examples of a Twitter feed getting out of hand? I mean,
Easy.
that's just so far out there.
This never happens
We worked
in
hard
our...
to stay non-political. Let's stay there, please.
No. But I mean, it's beyond just, the politics of it. You could have someone complain about your brand, and if you don't jump on it fast enough,
catch like wildfire.
It can absolutely be retweeted like crazy, and the next thing you know, people are like knocking your brand, your stock is going down, like the world is on fire. What are you going to do?
Twitter apocalypse.
I've just coined a term. I've been waiting for all these years.
I hate to hate on Twitter, but I feel like for local businesses, where it's at are these channels where you can have a more like Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook tend to be my favorite for local businesses, and that's my opinion, and I'm biased, but hey, I'm gonna put it out there.
Tell us how you really feel.
Tweet it at me, Bill.
I would, but I don't have a Twitter account anymore. So.
No, I do think that there's a space for it for larger brands or brands that are able to put the time and effort into customer service at that level. Things have happened for me where I was waiting on a flight for, at United. I was waiting on a flight and it didn't seem like we were going to take off, and I was really upset. So I was tweeting to them.
Oh, nice.
And I back and forth a couple times. They asked me the flight number, and they do it all right on there, so everybody can see it. There's no let's take it to the DMs or anything like that. And so
now for those people
direct message,
right? Because we've got to make sure that we spell out. So DM is direct message.
Direct message.
Facebook users here.
That's a PM, a private message, right?
That's a PM.
It's so hard to keep in track.
You gotta speak slowly
And loudly.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I can do that. I'm just going to keep going and just talk right over you and see what happens.
Are you starting to feel really old now? Or is it just me,
you were
Justin?
tweeting with them.
So I was tweeting at United, and this was prior to some of their more crazy things happening on Twitter. Yeah, issues. But within 5 minutes of somebody saying, okay, we'll figure out what's going on, our flight was boarding and we were taking off. Whereas like maybe 10 minutes before that, they were having some issues. They were like, well, I was like, are we going to have to cancel the flight? And I said in my tweet, like, I'm about to go. My sister doesn't have Twitter, or at least doesn't use it. And I was like, I'm about to go surprise my sister and I need to get there by midnight or, I'm going to miss my connecting flight. Well, my connecting flight was like 10 p.m. And I was like, I'll be really sad if I don't get to surprise her tonight with my visit. And so, like I said, within minutes we were boarding, taking off, and I don't know if the two are even remotely related, but it was just
let's just say
it was coincidental.
Yeah.
It was very coincidental.
Let's just say this. Oh my God, Nicole Eller. Well, we better get this.
It was all me. My social cred of my like maybe 40 followers, because I don't use Twitter for anything other than cat videos and complaining.
Yeah, so I think.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's gonna be the quote of the podcast.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
I love
title.
it. So I think Twitter has its place. I mean, I think I have one and I like to scroll through it and it keeps me up to date on like certain news channels that I follow, local groups that I follow, but I don't like picture myself looking through the feed and like clicking on ads I just don't picture it like that. And so, that's just my take on it. So what other social media channels would you say are up and coming for businesses? Because I have some, I think LinkedIn is up in their game.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely agree. Obviously, I spend a lot of time in LinkedIn, for the businesses that I do, I manage their platform for. And I do think that they're making a lot of changes. They've definitely upped the game with the advertisements. I know I posted recently about signing up for a program and having, I signed up and they didn't do anything with it. And the very next morning they were promoting something to me on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was fast.
It's again, Nicole speaks.
So Nicole,
They listen.
Clearly.
You and the
Social
Kardashians
cred.
right there.
Oh, God.
Right
I
there.
never thought I would hear someone say that.
your dreams have come true.
I don't know.
and it's been
Maybe
re-
a nightmare.
And it's been recorded.
And it's been recorded. That's
You're
crazy.
talking about in terms of popularity.
Well, I guess. Okay.
So if you read it on the internet, it's true. If we say
Of
it on the
course.
radio,
It's
it's
true.
true.
If you've heard it here, it's true.
Yes.
So LinkedIn, they have, so Facebook, personally, I love Facebook and Instagram because they have invested so much in their targeting as a marketer. So not from the personal side, but using it as a marketer. There's so much in the targeting, the power of the ads, which I've talked about in past podcasts. But LinkedIn is really trying to get there.
Yeah.
And they have launched the equivalent of the Facebook Pixel. They are, I think, upping their analytics on ad reporting from what I can see. And LinkedIn is really powerful because I'm not sure if it's a targeting parameter on Facebook right now for job title, and people don't always put their job title on Facebook. But LinkedIn, you can target by job title, level of within the corporation. So if you're looking to get in touch with like
The decision makers. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah. No, absolutely. The only challenge I have with LinkedIn is the pay-per-click. It's a little bit, because it can get
Pricey.
Yeah, it can get very pricey. I ran a job ads for someone, and we were monitoring it, and I had a budget set, and it blew right past the budget.
Ouch.
Yeah, so that's something I think that, but that's stuff that they're monitoring, and if you send them something that says like, this is what happened, can you please tell me what to do to make this not happen again? They are listening, because they wouldn't be doing all this work if they weren't.
Right.
So I love where LinkedIn is going. I do think that company pages have some potential. We'll see what happens with that. How those
How about
grow.
the video? I know they offer that not too long ago.
Yeah. So they do. So like Facebook, and I don't think Instagram does it. This is just Facebook, but they're doing the native posting where you upload directly to LinkedIn, and we know that has wide-reaching benefits from where you rank for Google. It has SEO benefits. It also has like analytics benefits, so you can kind of watch what's going on, who's paying attention. The only challenge I'm having, again, personally, is the videos moving very slowly on my page. So again, they are moving very quickly. I just, I caution them, don't move too fast, or it's not going to be putting out good material. And that's why I always said that they were kind of the slower kid at the back of the classroom trying to run to catch up. LinkedIn, yes. Yeah. Is because I think if they move too quickly, they kind of, they miss mistakes get made.
Right.
So I'm kind of waiting to see how the cookie crumbles with that. Obviously I'm passionate about LinkedIn. I do lots of connecting there, but where are they going to go? How well are they going to actually execute on that plan?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think so. And just to kind of clarify, so you can have a LinkedIn personal channel, but to advertise, you have to have a business profile on LinkedIn. That's correct, right, Nicole?
I think you can. Yeah, you have to have a company page in order to do.
Because it's the same thing on Facebook.
Yeah, you have to have the business page. It's not a business profile. So what catches people off is you can only have one profile as you on LinkedIn.
Yes.
If you have multiple profiles, you will get shut down. You will get, you could get banned from the platform. But you can have multiple company pages. So someone came to me recently and said, well, I don't know how to position myself because I'm me. And I own my company and I'm the face of my company, but now I'm also doing this other thing for these other people that helps raise my prestige level, but I don't want it mucking up, what I'm doing. And I basically said, if you need to promote your business, what you should do is, you have that company page for your business. So I would have Ginger Green Marketing, and then I would share something on Ginger Green Marketing and share it over to my personal profile feed, because that's where all my connections are. Right? Nobody is really following that company page yet. But if you work it the right way and you build it, you can. And then for advertising, I do believe you have to have that company page in place.
Yeah, and so the share option, I just want to hit on that real quick, because the same thing goes for Facebook. When you have these business pages, we all know that organic reach is kind of dead. And it's hard on LinkedIn as well. So it's dead on Facebook, very hard on LinkedIn. That share button is so powerful. So on Facebook, LinkedIn, if you're posting stuff on your business page, or even if you have an agency posting on your business pages, that share button, use it.
Absolutely.
Use it regularly. It's there for a reason. It's going to help you widen your reach with your posts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And always checking to see how you're posting it when you share it. So as someone who runs multiple pages, I'm given the option as I'm going to share something to share it as myself or share it as my page, or share it. And sometimes clients will go to share something from a page where I've posted it for them. They want to share it on their personal feed and they miss the mark. So it still says, posting as whatever that page name is. And it doesn't share to their personal feed. So just double checking on
Especially
there.
if it's a closed group or something like
right.
that.
Yeah.
I've done that. That's why I'm saying it.
Gotcha. Yeah. So just being aware of who you're posting as. But that's also got benefits because, I shared something from you, Alicia, over to my business page. And then I shared both of that over to my personal Facebook page where it took off, which was kind of entertaining. And then I had to go back and remind people, this wasn't me. I didn't write this.
What did you say, Alicia?
No, that was the post on the 9 types of post ideas.
Post.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Of course.
I think I shared that one too, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I think you did.
Aw, thanks.
See, I get it right
See,
every once in a
sharing
while.
is caring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you find it useful, then, don't just share for the sake of just sharing everything, but if you find it useful and meaningful, then perhaps other people in your feed will too.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess we're kind of wrapping up here.
Yes.
But I think, Nicole, if a business was just starting out with social media, or they really wanted to kind of go all in on a strategy, could you start with just one social media channel, do you think?
I do believe you can. I think that you could repurpose that content that you write for that one strategy and simply optimize it, and then worry about, the actual strategy for the other platform later. But if you needed to start in just one place, then yeah, you can.
Okay. And going back to kind of what you started with, think about who you're trying to reach, what type of content you have.
Right.
And if you still can't decide what social media channel is right for you, you can find Nicole Eller at gingergreenmarketing.com.
Perfect.
See how she brought that right back around?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
She's a pro.
Absolutely.
And I think with that, is there anything closing that you want to wrap up with, Nicole?
No. I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's always valuable to, take a look at that target market and figure out where they are and what the best messaging platform is to reach them.
Awesome. So we know where you can find Nicole.
So where can you find us?
Marketing.
That's a trick question, right, Justin?
Yeah, we're everywhere. But
Everywhere but nowhere.
if you want to check out our published podcasts, you can find them on our webpage at marketingessentialsteam.com. And you can also, while you're there, subscribe to the podcast. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts just by searching Marketing Essentials Team. We're also on YouTube. You can find us there. And you can.
We're just everywhere.
We're just everywhere. I told you we're everywhere. And we're also on Facebook. We have a great little super secret special group.
Oh, that's the one that Alicia
on
runs,
Facebook,
right?
yeah, called Little Rhody Marketing Support Group. And if you want to become part of that group, Alicia, what do people have to do to become part of Little Rhody?
Tell them, Johnny, what do you win? No,
Just click join.
Just click join.
There you have it.
There you have it.
Head
Thank
over
you,
to
folks. See you next week.
marketingessentialsteam.com and we'll let you, and there's a link there.
You don't have to be on a list. There's no velvet rope or
Not anymore. You threw
you have to
that all
know
away.
somebody.
I had to sell my firstborn.
That was just, no,
That was just for the first few people that came on board.
Oh, okay.
we're letting anyone in. No. Just kidding.
No,
If
it's
you're a business owner, if you're a marketing professional, if you want to know the inside scoop on what's happening in the marketing world, trends, basic tips, back to the fundamentals of marketing, this is the group to be, guys. It's all happening in there.
It's great to be great sounding board too. Seriously, marketing aside.
Absolutely, yeah. I personally, as someone outside the group, I love it. So
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And for me, it's been great fun seeing all people interacting. And you know, at first we started out with let's see what happens, and now we've got business owners talking to other business owners, and it's getting pretty lively in there from time to time.
Yeah, and we've even had some people, connect network-wise,
Yeah.
who had
Might not have otherwise.
similar businesses, So it's a great place to come and hang out and learn something.
One thing we left out as far as the actual website, if you go to the website and sign up for our newsletter, or our email, I guess you would call it.
Email.
Are we calling it? We're not calling it a
We
newsletter.
don't
Sorry,
sign up
no,
a newsletter,
we don't say the
no,
word
but
newsletter.
if you subscribe to the podcast, you will get an email every week letting you know.
Yes,
new
and what
episode
else
has
comes in that
dropped.
email? A secret squirrel link that will take you to some of the show notes that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Oh, that is right. Yes.
Justin looked at me with this.
I'm like,
lost
what?
look on his
What are
face.
we giving away?
No,
Selfies
we've
of
actually,
Justin.
we've actually,
Trust me, nobody wants that.
and there goes all our subscribership. Okay. No, all kidding aside, Justin has set up a page on the back end of our website that will have PDFs and things like that that are extras that you wouldn't get unless you signed up and subscribed.
Right, because each podcast has show notes with it, but then we always, not always, but for some of the episodes, we include a little bonus content.
Yes.
So if you're a subscriber to the podcast, you have access to that bonus content.
I should have had you say it from the beginning. You would have done it much more eloquently than me.
It's all right. It's all good. You're going to edit all this together. It's going to sound great anyway. So
You're going to see me 3 weeks from now going, have you finished editing that?
Nope.
Yeah, I got through the first 5
took
minutes.
me 9 hours to edit this episode.
well, my first thought was, do you guys rate your guests on how much you have to edit their podcast?
I've
Because
got,
I'm going to be the lowest.
I've got a
They've never
secret.
asked me to come back.
I've got a secret Excel sheet that nobody knows about.
Not even him. So,
With that, say goodnight, Grace.
all right. I think we can wrap
guys
this
close
one
it
up.
All right, folks.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.